What's soup? Uh, Traction control is fixed. I completely disassembled the entire bottom assembly, retightened up all of the internal thrust bearing fasteners, applied Loctite, reset this rail with proper M5s, Loctited them down. So now those are perfectly in line, in tight, without issue. But I assembled everything damn backwards. So, kind of serendipitous, because now the servo motor is not kicking your feet back here, but it is tucked up tightly inside the inside, towards the front of the servo. This has become a problem. This bearing is not, there's no recess here to keep this locked into this thrust block category, so got to make some type of a plate that can go over top of this and screw into these holes to hold that on, because as the traction control works left and right, sometimes it likes to slam into that bearing block and rattle things loose. But that's been solved in software now, because similar to like a audio compressor, where if you get towards the limit, it starts to apply downward pressure on the audio signal to keep it from peaking and destroying your speakers. You can do that with the motion wave that's coming into the Thanos controller in software. So as you approach the limit, it starts to compress and slow down rapidly to 0 before you actually touch the end. That's been implemented on all actuators. And as I was doing that, I messed up some of the code, and this happened. So now the surge stuttered, went full RPM, and completely busted my front connection here. Now that's a PLA printed, probably 3/16 inch piece of plastic. That was mostly for testing, to touch up to the carriage. Now that it's broken, it's going to be time to machine that in aluminum like I wanted to get these two attached together properly, and probably redo the entire front mount here, because this is janky. That's V1, it needs V2, and also apply the front slide actuator left and right to the internal setup up front. P2000s, the pedal plate mover is fully installed and grounded down. But yeah, there's been no issues, except until I look underneath here. Nah, that's the camera warping things. The things are straight. I love this thing. It's great. No issues there. Oh, got the vibrators back on the brake and throttle, using Marvin's iRacing app to drive those rather than the original SimRig. It's in the iRacing forums, but his software way better. There's more fidelity in the output that he's calculating. But what else? That's about it. Surge needs to get fixed. Oh, yeah, surge is broken. Traction loss is fixed. The gas shocks, I've been trying to experiment with running them, not running them. That's why they're flipped up now with a little collar tie. Not sure which way I like it better. I'm thinking not having them. I feel is more car-like, but there is some value to having them for the little small bumps that you can't really feel, because they're dominated by the weight of the system. But yeah, seat surge still works. What doesn't work is the entire assembly for the seat belt is completely trashed. It's locked up because the mount for the homing switch is got all jacked up, and now everything is rammed and completely locked together. So that needs a full disassembly. And the issue was there's no restraint or guide for how the master bar here that ties to the seatbelt itself slides up and down. It can rotate this 100 or 30 degrees or so, and because that's not rigidly locked and it's rotating around the lead screw, it caused issues in binding with the homing setup. So that was all that was gonna happen, and it has happened. So now that front, this needs V2, that needs V2, and everything else really solid. That'd be it. Later.